everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing something different. This will be my first ever official movie review. So I just recently saw Joker Folie at Deux last night. I went to this early fan screening because, you know, why not? And I wanted to see what the fuss is all about. Again, I've been excited for this movie since they announced the sequel, I think 2 years ago. I think I'm more intrigued once, of course, when my mother, Lady Gaga, appeared to play as Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is one of my favorite DC. She's part of the reason why I got into DC, and I'm like a basic knowledge of the Batman lore, and she fits in that category. Joker, you know, too. Hold on, my camera's gonna die. Sorry, my camera's about to die, so I changed the battery. So anyway, as I was saying, yes, I do love the character Harley Quinn. I was very intrigued what Gaga's portrayal is going to be for this character. I was hoping that she would go a little bit more like the character. I'll get into my thoughts and opinions about her performance. So further ado, I'm just going to let you know this will be a non-spoiler review. So there's going to be no spoilers of the movie, and that's it. So anybody can watch this. So if you've been living under a rock, what is this movie all about? So the movie is basically a sequel for the first Joker that was released in 2019. It won so many Oscars and it made $1 billion in the box office. That was a huge surprise. I didn't see that on theaters at that time, but I did end up watching it. I remember it was an origin story and the final moments were very shocking. That's why they really intrigued people for this movie. Okay, so it takes place 2 years after the first movie event. So the movie takes place the entire time with Joker being prepared for the trial of the century, his trial about the action that he did in the first movie. But while he was in Arkham Asylum, he ended up meeting this maid called Lee, which is Harley Quinn, which is played by Lady Gaga. And they both, fell in love with each other. And they both lead into this delusional, because they're both, they're supposed to be delusional characters. And they both fall in love, and the movie takes place basically it's a fantasy sequences, because, they have lots of imaginary. And their numbers are kind of linked to it's a foreshadowing what's happening in real life and what is happening now and what the characters are feeling. So that's how the musical number is included in this film, which is a little bit controversy when this movie was coming, especially with Gaga's musical background especially. So that's what the movie is basically all about. And the main question is, do we need to see this? Do we need this sequel? Originally the first Joker was originally supposed to be a standalone movie, but then it made so much money. You know Hollywood does, when they make so much money, they tend to sometimes make. This is a perfect example, to be honest with you. After seeing it last night, I don't think this movie needs a sequel. I think that it's better on its own, an origin story, but still it's already out here. So yeah, no, actually, I don't think it needs to be a sequel. I feel like this movie is kind of in my personal opinion, it felt like a streaming service, kind of it's a split middle between what could possibly be a proper sequel. It kind of feels because the entire movie takes place in an asylum mostly, and then the trial, of course, that's the big one, and then the musical number. So it just felt like a streaming series. I think that works better, leading towards a possibly a proper sequel, if you know what I mean. That's just how I feel. Okay, let's just move on to the story, my thoughts about the story. As I said, this movie takes place majority in the Arkham Asylum and the trial, and I feel like this movie does a great job going through, again, the same thing with Arthur's point of view, but they go more deep into his psychology background, and you kind of get a sense of idea what it's, because he's he's a serial killer, so it's kind of get a sense of idea what he's like being a famous serial killer, and it's very interesting to see it through his point of view, and towards the movie kind of explores that, especially with the trial happening. There's two sides of the group, because since the first movie kind of established his group, and so it kind of mirrors what's happening in real, especially during the 80s and 90s with the famous serial killers and stuff. And that, I'm just looking at my notes. So the idea of this story is about the main argument in the trial was is if Arthur is actually insane, the mask and stuff, if he's actually insane or he's just mentally ill. So it explores the idea of it's been an ongoing debate where whenever somebody commits a crime, are they just or they just have are we using mental illness or mental health as an excuse for their action for those crimes. That's the main part of the main ideas of the movie, which is very interesting about that. And towards the end of the movie, Arthur kind of reminds me a little bit of Ted Bundy, I would say. You'll know once you see the movie, especially like how the media treats him. Like, so, you know, especially Harley Quinn, like fans love him and stuff. I feel, okay, my thoughts about Harley Quinn's involvement, like it's basically a new take of the character. I feel like it's more like Lady Gaga's like style, not like the animation or like the how we are familiar with Harley Quinn in the animation or the comic book lore and stuff. It's like a whole new version of it, and it's a new take of the character. And I feel like how the ending of the story feels, I understand some people might find it very divisive. Some people will see the poetic ending. Some people will probably hate it, be like, what's the, you know, the point of it? Especially, you know, that's all I'll say. I don't want to say what happened, but like, I understand it's gonna be like divided with the ending of this movie. I was like, when I watched it, I was like, what the hell? Like, that was it. Like, I was like very mixed about it. So, okay, let's move on to the character discussions. Let's start with Arthur. I think I was very surprised at, I mean, not surprised. People will be happy if you like the first one. He is actually the center of the movie. Because when Gaga was announced, people were all scared, oh my god, he's gonna get less screen time. They're gonna focus more on Gaga. No, he's actually like the main center of the movie, which I'm kind of mixed about. Like, he is maybe way too much. I thought, you know, because we all thought he's gonna be treated as a side character, but like he's actually like the main focus. And then the movie portrayed him kind of like a sad person. You can kind of see in the trailer, it's very like, so some people might find him like they feel bad for him. They're like, oh, I feel so bad for you. But also some people might find it like, okay, let's not forget like what he did. If he's supposed to be a villain and stuff. So it comes back to idea of like, not manifesting, like being obsessed and in love with a serial killer, kind of like that type of vibe. And I feel like this version of Joker is very different of how the other Jokers are portrayed, which will be upsetting for some fans that really love, you know, the Joker, especially this version. And I feel like this actor, like Joaquin Phoenix, really took this character in a deep, dark place. You know it once you, it's like so dark. You can easily see like the places you went to, which kind of leads to like the ending-ish, the ending of his character. So, you know. And again, it makes you question about, with the musical fantasy, it kind of makes you question about if what he's thinking is real or not real. That's like, that's gonna be your ongoing thought. Well, that's how I felt while watching the movie. Wait, is this real? This not real? Or like, it's like foreshadowing of something. So, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the reason why some of us are watching this movie is because of Harley Quinn, Gaga's portrayal. So, as I said, I feel like this is definitely a different take from Harley Quinn. At first, after seeing it, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this version of Harley Quinn, to be honest with you. Like, maybe if I need to see it again, I might probably like it. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say I feel like Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn in live action so far is like almost similar to how the animation is versus Gaga. Well, to be fair, I feel like they cut out like so many scenes of her where like we didn't really fully see her go full Harley Quinn, to put an argument with that statement, which is very frustrating for me. And I feel like this is definitely a great, I think one of the best like vocal range performance of Lady Gaga. She can do like different variation as an actress. So this movie kind of showcased like what she can do. It was just upsetting how the director didn't like Todd Phillips didn't like new stuff with her. Like, there's so many like scenes that are cut. I would like to see I want to see like a final version, her cut of the movie. I want to know more about her. She's very intriguing. And honestly, she's a little bit scary. That's what Harley Quinn's supposed to be. She does a great job with the scary part, because I have no idea what she's about to do, because Harley Quinn's supposed to be unpredictable. Like, she's a fun character, but she's very unpredictable. You don't know what she's doing. So she's a little bit, you know, scary, especially her choices in the movie. So yeah, I want to see more what she does. It's kind of nice to hear the backstory. I wish that we actually saw it instead of hearing it from other characters of her telling it. I hate it when directors, like, we just see the characters talking about it rather than like actually seeing it, you know, from the history of her, like background and stuff. You know, and I like how the only thing what I like how Gaga does, because you know Harley Quinn's being usually, especially early in her story with this type of stories, that she's usually seen as like a very, very needy person. For Gaga's version, no, you don't really see that. So I was a little bit worried about, like, that's the thing that really annoys me with the Joker and the Harley Quinn relationship, where like I don't see Gaga being like such like her. She didn't portray Harley like a very like needy wannabe person. You know what I mean? It's, you know, that's all I'll say. That much I'm little, you know. Also, I want to add that a perfect way to get yourself into the movie, I would suggest listening to the Harley Quinn, Lady Gaga's album, The Harley Quinny or something like that. Like this related to Joker too. So I would play that. I would play that if you like that album. You get a sense of idea how the musical numbers will be. That's my biggest suggestion. So if you like that album, then you probably will the musical numbers of this movie. So I just want to edit that before, you know, I concluded. Okay, so thank you. Okay, let's talk about the director, Todd Phillips. I know this movie is so expensive, like $250 million because of the musical number. But when I watched it, it felt like a very low budget movie. It felt like, because the movie takes place in like 2 settings, majority of the film. But like it feels like a low budget movie. I wish that it wasn't 200. I wish it was like $100 million or something, because it felt like a very well done, low budget film. I think the cinematic was way better than the first one in my opinion with the sequel. I feel like for the musical number, he definitely took lots of inspiration from like the Golden Age musical, especially like the musical numbers that they sang. And for the trial, so I felt like he watched tons of like Trial of the Centuries from like the past history, because you can kind of see the way he directed that sequences and the way like he asked like author to or Joaquin to like portray his character like in the trial. It's like very like similar to the Secrets in real life, like trying to defend himself or whatever. And my only problem is that the pacing felt a little bit like off. It's like I think it kind of slows down with some of the musical numbers, because like some of the musical numbers are like not really energetic, just them like singing. I'd rather make this like into a dialogue rather than them like singing it in like a low pitch, rather than like there's some musical numbers that I like the first one where like they escape the sound. That's like one of my favorite like musical numbers. It's like very high energetic. It's like, you know, it's like crazy. It's very unique. But I feel like he didn't really know how to do musical numbers properly in this movie, because I feel like, again, he doesn't have any experience in musical. I wish that there was somebody that was guiding him of how to do a musical like number properly, you know. I like he didn't, you know. And there's the story, this is back to story, but like he had some great ideas with the story, you know, with the ideas that he explored. But however, yeah, there's lots of like fantastic shots of this movie. I feel like most of it are all unfortunately in the trailer, like most of the like wow shots. And actually I feel like this movie could have used a little bit more action sequence. I feel like this movie could have used, there's a little bit less of it, but like I wish there was more, you know, actions. It's more like a character study type of movie, you know. Okay, let's talk about awards chances. After seeing this movie, I don't think this movie would be nominated for any awards, to be honest with you. I'll be surprised. Maybe like set designs, costumes maybe, but like acting wise and story wise, unfortunately I don't think so. I hope to be wrong about it. I don't know if Lady Gaga will be nominated for Best Supporting Actress for this movie, or if she'll ever win one. I'll be surprised if she did get nominated, but like at the same time, you know, I like to be wrong, but I don't think she will be nominated after seeing my movie myself. Again, I'm a big fan of her. I want her to have a successful acting career, but we'll see how successful it's in the box office. Okay, so my conclusion for this movie is that, as I put in my notes, I feel like this movie left me dry, wanting more of the story, like super depressed, like how Arthur felt during the entire movie. Just wanted, like, it's like I'm just trying my best to find like the beauty of this movie. My first watch, maybe my second watch will be like better, but like that's how I felt. I feel like this is definitely worth a see in the movies if you definitely love the first movie. If you want to see Gaga's performance, I would say lower your expectation with Gaga. Like, she is in the movie. I would say she's like 50 or 60% of the movie. She's definitely more like a supporting role than like a Coley, which we all thought she would be a Coley. That was like not a huge mistake, but like she's basically like a supporting, so she's there. Her screen time is way better than House of Gucci. She's like there, like almost, you know, she's in the movie, you know, but not like, I still want more from her. Yeah, so it's worth to check with the continuation of the Joker movie, Gaga's performance, and then the musical number itself too, of course. And some people find this movie like boring. I don't find it boring, because like if you're really interested in like true crime stuff, court drama, and like psychology and like mental asylum stuff, then like this will probably be a treat in your jam. If you're not interested, that you definitely know what you're in for. That's like the vibe of this movie. So yeah, that is my review of Joker Folie à Deux. I feel like the title is kind of misleading because there's no like too love and delusional and stuff. But like, let me know comment below what you think of this movie. I feel like after this movie, I need a break from like Chiu's trips because we just got the Menendez brothers, this one, and then like so much stuff. So yeah, let me know comments what you think of this movie. Have you seen it yourself? And do you think there will be a third movie? After seeing it, I don't think so, but hey, never say never. They can do so much things with this movie. So yeah, let me know comments below what you think, and I'll see you all next time. Hope you guys like this movie review, okay? So yeah, bye! Doesn't have the Bronx accent. Oh, wait, that's it? Okay.